Welcome to Therapists Say, the podcast where we talk about real life, real feelings, and the stuff everyone's dealing with, but no one really explains. We're here to make mental health make sense, keep things honest, and remind you that you're not the only one trying to figure it all out. Therapists Say is brought to you by Full Circle Therapy and Inner Wellness Therapeutic Services. Let's get into today's episode. And welcome back to another episode of Therapists Say. I'm your host, Mel.
I'm your other host, Liz.
Barry. I'm just doing that.
It's like every episode it diminishes even more.
Yeah, soon it'll just be...
It'll just be nothing.
Yeah.
Silence.
Nod your head.
Yeah, I'll nod.
So we're back. I have shrink wrap about...
Excellent. I have a little bit of
about
shrink wrap also.
Why my brother-in-law Laz was so triggered by the grass on the cruise ship. I don't really know if we got to the bottom of it, but
He had a lot of reasons.
he had many reasons why he did not like this grass on the cruise ship. And his response was, why is there grass on a cruise? Where are the sprinklers? What kind of lawnmower do they use? Where is the lawnmower? Why is the grass greener and better cut on the cruise than my own grass? That one was interesting.
That's the one I love that one.
And then he said, what's the point of grass on the ship? Can you sit on the grass? What if I'm allergic to grass? And then as a joke, he said, does the grass come with the drink package? But that's because every time we would like sit at a restaurant, they would ask, do you have the drink package? And we didn't have the drink package. So every time we would have to say, no, we don't have the drink package. And then they would low-key judge you because they're like trained to convince people to get the drink package.
Right.
He also
I think
to
that's
put a pudding green on it.
Oh, okay. So what did he tell you?
All the same thing. She
like
was nodding.
copying, like in exact order. He copied and I wonder
He copied and pasted
who did
it.
he text first?
Me. He texted me first.
How do you know that?
Because you sent it after and I was trying not to send it to you guys so that we could discuss it here.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to know.
Exactly.
When I asked,
Right.
I was just making
Right.
sure we had followed up because our listeners
Mm-hmm.
care a great deal
Sorry, I ruined
about
it.
why
You ruined it.
I ruined it. Sorry.
Yeah. So
All right, so we solved that.
So
That was a
that
lot
was
of
that.
reasons.
There was a lot of reasons. The one that
and
stuck
honestly,
out.
some of them were, I don't know.
Yeah, like I think it was just like it was weird that there was grass up there.
That's
Stuck
what
out-
somebody sent
Yeah.
to us. Remember, it
Yeah.
might have been Sabrina.
Sabrina.
It was like, why is there grass on a ship? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Why isn't everyone disturbed by this?
Yes.
I wouldn't be disturbed
I
by it. I
wouldn't
think it's
either.
kind of cool.
I absolutely loved
Yeah,
it.
I thought it was cool. If it's the kind of grass you can sit in,
It's
Yeah.
that kind.
yeah, why not?
I wanted to sit there.
I
and
would wonder,
eat
like,
something.
when do they mow it? Like,
Or-
am I asleep when they're mowing it?
Or does it not grow?
No, it has to grow. There was
Right.
dirt. I'm assuming
Real
that they
grass.
use a weed eater.
Because it's not that big.
But then
Yeah,
where do
it's like not that much grass. Like it was a lot of grass for a cruise ship, but
Right.
you're not gonna put you can't put a lawnmower on it. Cause like the areas you would like to get on it, like that wouldn't work. So it has to be something
Okay.
hand operated.
All right.
Anyways, what stuck out to me the most was when he said, why is the grass greener and better cut on the cruise than my own grass?
Yeah.
And, we could go down a whole episode on that. But
That's
we
kind of a
won't.
man thing. Like,
Yeah.
I made that joke about
Yeah.
the memes I see about
Yeah.
dads, like,
Yes.
comparing barbecue grills
Exactly.
and whatever, you know what I mean?
Lawns. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some shrink wrap also. So I had the first thing I wrote, I think I wrote it like the very first video I posted was, I wish we had spent more time on triggers or information. I think you made that statement.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
And I was like, that's a really big statement that I think we could have unpacked a good amount.
Yeah, that was good.
Do you want to say anything else about it today? Nah, you're like, I'm over trauma.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it could be like a whole episode.
Right. And then Sabrina listened to the episode and then she said, as usual, I have misrepresented somebody that talks to me, which seems to be my contribution to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
She said, she's been doing therapy for 10 years. Like, she knows the answer.
Mhm.
Like, she wasn't, like, I put it like, this therapist needs help with knowledge about trauma. And no,
We're helping.
she just wanted to hear our styles of handling it, which we did. She said we did do that, but she did feel a little like misrepresented. And then
She knows how to deal with trauma.
And then I have another quote that I think I heard from another podcast after. It said, true healing is not when the pain stops, it's when the patterns do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like we said that.
Oh, maybe you did.
I mean, we talked about that probably in like different words.
Also, somebody that's expert in ADHD said we might have misrepresented ADHD
Oh.
Should we
with
talk
the
about
girl
ADHD?
for a minute, with the girl that brought a presentation,
Oh.
as sometimes ADHD is hyper focused, and that person still might have had ADHD. Okay, but it's at least
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, because I'm the one, I'm chastising myself here because I'm the one that said she came in with a PowerPoint. She doesn't have ADHD. How long did that PowerPoint take? Like, I was being a jerk,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
perhaps I misrepresented ADHD.
Perhaps.
It's not something I work with, so
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
defense. Like, it's whatever.
Mhm.
And then I must have heard this, and sometimes I write notes and I forget the context, but it was maladaptive daydreaming, like a fantasy you add to over the years.
Wow.
Yeah, but it had to do with trauma, I'm assuming, or ADHD. I'm not
No, that
sure.
probably had to do with like. Did we talk about dissociating?
Oh,
Oh,
Did we?
that makes
Because
sense.
that would have to do
Yeah.
with dissociating.
like maybe I was watching something or I heard that. Like, maladaptive daydreaming is when you're daydreaming and you keep adding to the story. I think I heard it in a podcast.
Mhm.
All right. So today's topic, are you guys ready?
No.
Do you have any idea? No idea.
No, this is
All
the
right,
first
so-
time we kind of go in blind.
I know. So blind.
In a while.
In a while.
In a while.
We used to do that. That used to be our thing.
It was our thing.
Right. But then you guys felt more comfortable if you had
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
to like
Think
think
about
about
it.
stuff. And so I was wondering how we're in season 4.
Yeah.
We've been together for season 2 and season 3, and we've never talked about sex in psychology.
I love that.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about sex and psychology.
That's kind of how we started, though. Yeah, there was like
Holy shit. All right, just commit me to a home right now, because apparently I don't remember anything. I can't remember my notes. I don't remember us even ever talking about sex.
yes. One of the first episodes with us, one of the questions was how much sex is healthy in a relationship.
Oh, that's minor.
Okay, fine, but we
Okay.
talked about
Yes.
sex.
All right. So it has come up.
We
My
talked
bad.
about that?
I do remember that.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't.
It was like
Yeah.
the questions, like the viewers'
Viewer
questions.
questions. Listener
And I said, Sugar Candy wants to know how much.
Wow, sugar candy. How much sex is sugar candy having? That sounds like
Sounds
somebody
like
that's
she should be
having
having
a good amount of sex.
a lot of sex.
All right.
Okay.
Does she still listen?
Yeah, she's one of
Oh.
our super fans.
All right, cool.
She'll be
All
happy
right.
with a shout out.
So I even thought of a title.
Oh,
Right?
wow, great.
Because
Send it to me, please.
I'm going to say it. Sex from Freud to furries.
Oh, wow.
I thought of that all by myself.
Oh, okay. Well, that gives us.
This is gonna get us canceled.
Well, this gives
How?
it's a natural part of.
I thought about
being a
because
human.
they're both F's. Like, that's not very far to go, right? From FR to FU, you know?
No, but Freud and furries are.
Yeah.
or
I also
opposite
thought of
end of the
BDSM, from BDSM to furries, but that's not very far.
No. Freud and
Freud to
furries.
furries. All right, cool.
Wow. Okay. Where do you want to start? I guess
I
we
just-
should start with Freud. I
My
think.
first question, the question that I would ask you guys is, how important do you think sex is in relation to therapy and psychology? Like,
Mm,
how much do you talk about it in sessions?
all the
for
time, every
example?
single day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I work with couples
Mhm.
and I'm heavy on the emotional needs questionnaire. And the second emotional need on the questionnaire is sexual fulfillment. So I feel like I'm always talking about sexual fulfillment.
Mm.
And
Comes
I
up.
talk about it when it comes to my clients who are married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's huge. Well, yeah, I think couples that are in relationships, it always.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like
I mean, I work with a lot of single people, and I
Mhm.
feel like it still comes up.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, if they're in some sort of a relationship, whether it's casual or
Right.
not.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for one, or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, so we
Huge.
talk about it
Mhm.
almost daily, you guys are saying. Like,
Yeah.
almost daily
Every
Probably.
time I'm in session.
in session. Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is almost daily,
Mhm.
I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, where do
Okay.
you want to start?
So I think we should start with Freud.
All right. I think Freud gets a bad rap. What do you think?
I love Freud. I agree. I think he does get a bad rap. Like his theories are very old school, like probably as old school as they get. But I think he was on to something.
You think? Yeah.
Go ahead. That sons want to cut off their dad's penises.
Yeah.
So I don't think exactly.
I don't think.
that.
Wait, I think no.
The Oedipus
It's not
complex.
sons want to cut off their dad's penises. It's they're afraid their dad is going to cut off their penis.
Oh shit!
Really?
I can't even remember. It's
I thought.
They want to murder their dad. But they're
yes,
also they want to murder their dad. That's Oedipus.
Yes.
But they're afraid their dads want to cut off their penises. And girls, the Electra complex is they think that their mom already cut their penis off.
Okay.
According to Freud. To me, that's the weirdest part of Freud.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the weirdest part of Freud, and I think that's why he gets such a bad rap. But I think what's behind it makes more sense if you dissect it and don't actually take it literal.
Like the Bible?
Just like the Bible. Correct.
Just like the Bible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we not bring religion in? Like,
well, no. I could talk from like my own religion here.
Let's not go to Bible. Let's stick with sex.
Just so you understand why we said that.
Thank you.
We don't believe that the snake actually spoke to Adam and Eve, and like we don't actually believe that literally happened.
It's a teaching. It's a story.
Right.
Okay. All right, cool.
So that's why she said the Bible.
So can we get back to Freud? I'm sorry.
Like when he said if you dream of trains, you're really dreaming of penises?
That's not where I was going to go, but I wanted so you're postulating that isn't that a word?
That's a good word.
Okay. That the weirdest part of Freud is the penis envy.
Yes.
Right? Is what that amounts to. The fear of not having a penis, basically.
I don't think that part's the weirdest part.
Okay, what's the weirdest part?
That the boys think that the dad is going to cut off their penis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that part.
All right.
But
what's behind it?
What about the dad? What about the kid wanting to kill the dad?
Yeah,
to possess the mom.
Right.
Do you think that's weird? The Oedipus
I
complex.
100% believe that like Blake is in that stage.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. He cuddles with me, loves me so much that he would for sure not care if Joe disappeared because he's so obsessed with me right now in like this stage. So I could see where Freud is coming from. Like Blake loves Joe and he loves his dad and he loves doing dad things with him. But if I'm cuddling in bed with Joe, like he'll come and like get between us and like tries to cuddle with me and like yeah. So I see that happening.
I agree with that. That's how I teach Freud when I do teach Freud, that it's not sex in a sexual way. It's more possession.
Well,
and I give examples just like and it's the opposite. Like girls will do it with push you away to be with the dad.
That's like classic right now.
I mean, this is very heterosexual bias, but Freud...
no. Well, I have a boy and a girl, and like that's really what I see. I mean, there's times where Blake prefers Joe, but it's more in manly things. They'll go and play basketball together. And I guess I shouldn't say manly, but I'm not gonna go play basketball with Blake because I just don't like to do that. So he'll look for Joe to play sports with him and all that.
Where are you at with this?
I mean, my kids are still little, but like Grayson would absolutely kill Eddie if he could. like Grayson will like caress my face at night. Like Grayson will just like, now he just kisses me, and like even that I'm pregnant, he will just like randomly like kiss my stomach and say I love you. Violet's a little mean, but she's always been that way.
Yeah, but it goes back to like the same thing that you're saying.
Like Violet, it's really annoying, lets Eddie do her hair. And I'm like, he can't do your hair. Not that he can't, but
he
like
just doesn't do it well.
He doesn't do it as well as I do it. And like, but she'll just be like, I don't care, Daddy.
So, but in your training, like you're saying what you see in your kids, but in your training, like, do you buy into Freud's stuff?
No, I was more of a Maslow.
Okay.
Kind of the hierarchy of needs.
All right.
Yeah. No, I'm heavy on Freud and Erickson too.
Right. But one of the other things that people, I think, get turned off by Freud sexually is like the little kids in the anal stage, oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage. Yeah.
Which is the one with
the oral fixation?
Yeah, Melissa has oral fixation with straws.
She does?
With straws. She can't have any drink without a straw.
That's accurate information.
I don't know that that's an oral fixation, though.
She's always
like some people prefer straws because it doesn't stain your teeth as much.
No, I don't. That's not her reason. No.
But oral fixation, like in Freudian terms, I mean, maybe we should explain.
We should,
yeah.
So the idea is the first stage is oral. The child is putting everything in their mouth. Right? Anything. You give them poop, they'll put it in their mouth.
True.
They will.
They will.
Yeah.
That is actually 100%. True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything. Dirt, whatever. They put everything in their mouth. Like it's how they're exploring the world.
Batteries.
It's where Freud's theory was that's where sensual might be a better word than sexual. Like sensual pleasure is coming from. Like sense pleasure is from their mouth.
Yeah.
And if they're not breastfed enough or bottle fed enough, or if anything interferes with that stage, they can become orally fixated.
Right. That's where this is exactly what Liz is talking about, because our mom says often how she did not breastfeed us because she didn't want to breastfeed us. She didn't want
but she bottle fed you.
Right. But so Liz is always like making fun of me that I need a straw, probably because I wasn't breastfed as a child.
But she wasn't breastfed either. Why doesn't she need a straw?
Yeah. No. I think it's more of a millennial thing, honestly.
Okay.
We like straws.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I can't speak to the millennials, but...
Millennials, do you like straws? Comment below.
All right, great.
We need interaction.
Right. We're making sex so boring right now.
I don't think we are.
Okay. So... All right. But
Barry wants to get more into this.
Oral can look a lot like a lot of different things. Like, you don't walk around like chewing things all the time. Like, yeah, you drink out of a straw, but like smoking would be an oral fixation. Vaping could be an oral fixation. Like toothpicks or chewing gum or lollipop.
I definitely don't have an oral fixation.
Right. I don't see it. Like I've never seen her.
I like straws. That's it. But I don't have an oral fixation.
Okay. So.
Right. Okay. So there's oral.
Also being, being really talkative would be oral fixation.
I'm pretty talkative.
Yeah. I mean, it gets kind of vague.
Okay.
All right. So, and then
next is
anal stage. That's where they're being potty trained generally. And they, they start to get pleasure from being able to hold in and go on the potty. Right. So,
yeah. Violet's there. She potty trained herself this weekend.
Excellent.
Wow.
Herself.
Genius.
Yeah. She's genius.
Yeah, apparently. I wonder what she'll be like older, like if she'll get stuck in that stage, or because the anal stage, if you're overly organized, they call it anal, right? Like, oh, you're so anal, like everything has to be in a certain order.
Maybe
but that's part of the potty training thing. Like if your parents were really strict in their potty training, or if they were too lackadaisical about it,
that you had to do it yourself.
Yeah,
she decided.
Then you end up anal expulsive, which is like you're messy and unorganized, disorganized.
We'll have to remember that.
And with the anal character, they can be, I think sarcasm is considered anal fixation. I think, although I might be confusing that with oral, but like there's certain character traits, like being stingy is considered anal.
Oh yeah, like that makes sense.
If you're stingy or, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And then the phallic.
And then phallic is little kids will often like touch themselves in some way. And if they get stuck there, then that can lead to whatever, kind of sexual whatever disorders, I guess. Like being, I don't know, like thinking everything's shameful. You know what I mean? Like having too much anxiety about sex or too much self-reproachment, I guess, about sex.
But is that like if if the parents like stop
Yeah,
them.
like if the parents are like, you can't do that, like, you know what I mean? Like chastise them for doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That would be phallic stage. And then latency isn't really a stage. It's like that's where they start bonding with peers. And then genital stage is the rest of your life where you're like having sex. But okay, so we covered Freud's stages.
Yeah.
And I think people have a lot of beef with Freud for a couple of reasons. One is the sexual stuff, like all of that we just talked about. Also, the Oedipus complex, like that's based on a Greek story where a fortune teller told the king that his son was going to grow up to kill him. So when the baby was born from the queen, obviously, the king sent the baby to be killed, and the guards couldn't kill it. So it ended up getting raised by some other family, not knowing it's the prince, right? Comes back, kills the father, and sleeps with the mom. That's where the whole Oedipus complex comes from. Yeah, from the story of Oedipus Rex. So people find that weird, but I always point out that that was a Greek story long before Freud, like way before Freud. That was a story, and in my dreams class, I actually read a passage from it where the mom, the queen, is like, don't worry about it. Many a man has dreamt about sleeping with his mom. You know what I mean? And I think people have a tough time with that. Like that, his cocaine use, like Freud used some cocaine for a while. And then I think what people don't understand is it was legal then. It was a prescription drug. When he found out how damaging it was, he turned against it. You know, he was like, it's the third scourge of the earth, you know? So I think people get hung up on that. But I guess if you boil down Freud's theory, it's sex and aggression. Like he believes we're driven by two things, sex and aggression. Where do you guys land on that? Like, what do you, since we're covering Freud today more than anything, I'm going to come to Maslow soon, too.
No, you don't need
I'm coming after Maslow.
You're going to have to...
You're going to have to defend your...
Read up on your Maslow. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's hard for me to like not think about Freud and his theories a lot because of the population that I work with. And I work with a lot of couples where there's a lot of infidelity. And so a lot of it boils down to sex, and there's the aggression involved from one party or the other with infidelity. So it's hard for me to say no because that's really what I do.
Okay.
A lot of.
And you feel like
that's not the only thing. Like I wouldn't say like everything boils down to sex and aggression, but I think it plays a really big role in relationships.
Right. Sex, like that's what we're talking about. We can talk about aggression another episode, maybe. But do you believe sex is a major drive of people, humans, clients, all of that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's
wow.
Typically it's at least top 4 in the emotional needs when I do that with couples. With both partners. I hate to say it that it's more prevalent with men than women, but from the clients that I have seen in the last 10, I don't even know how long I've been practicing in my career, a lot of the men's are heavier on the sexual fulfillment. But like women are too. It just might not be their top 1 or 2.
Okay.
At one point, I got a lot of couples that were dealing with intimacy issues. One of them didn't want to have as much sex as the other one did. And for different reasons, there was trauma involved with some. There was, the relationship wasn't going very well. So it was hard for one partner to be as sexual as the other partner wanted. So it was different reasons. And I would use a sensate focus exercise. It's for increasing intimacy in a relationship. I believe that there's like 3 steps to it. And the first step is that you can't touch any sexual zones on the body. Like you start off like just being able to be next to each other and like cuddling with each other, but you can't touch anything. And then once you're comfortable with that, you go to the second phase. And then in that phase, you could start touching like certain areas, but you can't have sex. And then there's like the third phase. And I would use that a lot because intimacy issues would come up all the time.
Liz, where do you see sex coming up in your sessions, and how do you...
Well,
approach that?
For me, a lot of the times, because I work with so much trauma and sexual abuse, sex comes up for me with my clients and trying to repair their ideas about sex or how to approach sex or like sex with partners after they've been abused or assaulted.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I talk about sex in my sessions very differently.
Right.
Well, I guess not very differently, because some of your couples have those similar issues also. I'm seeing people who were like abused like in like a cult or things very like
by biological family members,
right, like repetitive sexual abuse.
Yeah, definitely way more severe than maybe the couples that I see.
Right.
Right, because there's trauma associated with theirs more often.
Right. So it's different for Mel, I feel, that like is most of the partners are trying to figure out their intimacy within each other, or males who have a higher sex drive than their female partners. Mine is usually very different from that, of trying to resolve the sexual trauma to the best possible way, so that now they can go and engage in sex again safely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely different ends of the spectrum also.
Right, yeah.
In terms of how we're talking about sex in our sessions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, a lot of times it's a fun conversation to have. Like, how can we make this better? Like, I mean, it's not fun all the time, but usually one of the partners is like, yes, this is what I want to talk about because I really want to fix this. And, so it's more lighthearted. I could make it lighthearted so it's easier to digest, like in the couple session for both of my partners, and get it to be a very normal part of our relationship, and we could talk about it, and it's important to talk about it so we can make it better. And so it's different than how Liz is probably talking to her clients about it.
But I'm sure on some level it's similar, because your clients want to get to a healthy sexual place rather than being triggered or like having to fight through,
I just feel like it's so complex with Liz's clients because a lot of them are DID. And so she's dealing with the child version. And
well,
like a teenage version.
And then sometimes some alters have a sexual addiction. So it's, I'm talking about it differently.
Yeah, it seems much more complex.
Right. The only thing I was going to say, bring up Maslow, because I think sex is hugely important, right? Psychologically. Like, I've always felt that way. And when I teach, like, people get hung up on Freud and all the sex, but Maslow included sex in 3 of the hierarchy of needs. It's a physiological need, love and belonging need, and a self-actualization need. So he had it 3 out of 5. Like, I mean, that's pretty important, right? And then behaviorism, because there's 3 major schools of psychology, right? Psychodynamic, which is Freud. There's humanistic, right? And then there's behaviorism. And in the behaviorism school, sex is a huge reinforcer for behavior, right? Like, you want to get somebody to do something, sex is a good way to get them to do it, right? So I think it is I don't want to say super important, because that sounds, I don't know.
Super cool.
Wouldn't want to be super cool. I just think it's integral in psychology.
Yes, much better.
And we haven't talked about it a whole lot on here. I think there's real misunderstandings about sex and how important it is in the general population. I think. Like, I don't think, like, most of my clients don't come in and say, I'm here because of sex. You know what I mean? Like, maybe when couples, that's more common. I don't know, your clients aren't coming in saying that. No. It comes up in sessions at times, but I think, like, there's a taboo about talking about it. Like, Definitely. Some people are holding back.
And I think feeling emotionally safe is also tied into sex and how it's different, for not to just say like all men just want physical touch, but a lot of times men, that is big emotional need for them is the physical touch. But then the women, it's different. It's like the emotional part needs to come so the physical part can come. And I think people also don't understand that about sex,
Mhm.
especially like couples and partners.
Yeah. When I'm going over the emotional needs questionnaire, the hardest is the ones where one of the partners' sexual fulfillment is the top emotional need and the other partner's sexual fulfillment is not on the top 3 or top 4.
Right.
Because the partner that sexual fulfillment is not on there doesn't automatically think that sexual fulfillment is important for the other person, because to them it's not that important. And then the partner that the sexual fulfillment is the top emotional need doesn't understand why their partner isn't more fulfilled by sex.
Right.
So then they try to be sexual. The partner that is not as sexual tries to give their top emotional need, which, let's say, for example, is domestic support. And so they're here making dinner, doing all the laundry and cleaning and cooking and like doing all the domestic support stuff, but it's doing absolutely nothing for the partner that
Right.
their top need is sexual fulfillment. And that's the hardest to get the couple to wrap their heads around it. For couples like that, a lot of times I prescribe, I want to say timed intercourse, but basically you have to put it on the calendar to get yourself to understand that this is something that's important
Right.
for the relationship.
I think that's a great topic
Mhm.
because a lot of people, like over the last few days, I finished Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity. Have you read that?
No, but
It's
I
like such a
should.
great book.
Yeah, I
Like
feel
I
like I
highly recommend it. I'm
know about
recommending
it
it
so
to
much.
everybody that listens to us right now.
Mhm.
I think it's an excellent book that helps normalize some things, but also like correct some misnomers we have. And scheduling sex, like a lot of people find that like that's pathetic. Like
Yeah.
she literally, it says that in the book, like she approached one couple with that and they were like, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like it can actually be very beneficial. Like,
Wonderful.
yeah, because you're setting aside the time. Like you're now prioritizing this rather than I'll get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But a
Because-
lot of people would find that off-putting.
Oh,
And
and
I
some
think
of
the
them
fact you're
do.
sharing it right now is excellent.
Yeah. Some do. And it's funny because in our baseball parent group, sex comes up often, like over, all the time. Like with I feel like sex comes up all the time with, I don't know.
Everyone?
Yeah, with like
Okay.
couples when they're like together.
Yeah, I'm
I
an
don't know.
introvert. I spend a lot of time alone. I'm not in baseball chat groups for small
What do you
children
mean? That didn't
that have
come up
turned
at your
sexual.
potluck?
The potluck. Oh,
I didn't go to that.
He didn't go to the potluck.
You know damn well I didn't go to that.
It's funny because they all know I'm a therapist, so then they'll ask me
Mhm.
therapist questions. But one of the parents asked me, how often are you supposed to be having sex? And I brought up the whole calendar thing, and it was really funny because we were all out to brunch, and I'm telling you, they all like put down their drinks to pay attention to what I was about to say. So I felt like I was hosting a seminar,
Right, holding court.
Yeah. And so they joke all the time about the calendar. And a lot of them, I think, actually started scheduling sex because they were complaining.
Right.
I don't have as much sex as I want to. And like, how much sex do you guys have? And it really works.
Yeah, I would recommend that book because there's so many reasons that people stop having sex once they are partnered for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what the book's about. Like, you know, at the beginning of the book, she talks about how animals don't have problems reproducing in nature. Like it's only in captivity you hear about they won't mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she talks about how that relates to us as humans and, you know, how desire and love are kind of opposite ends. Like if you believe like love is having something and desire is wanting something. And she brings up how think about anything you really wanted. Once you get it, do you really want it? Like you might enjoy it some, but you don't want it anymore because you have it. Yeah, she talks about that. Like so many different dynamics that can happen in relationships that kind of dull the passion.
Yeah.
And I think that was an excellent point. Like with all the baseball people, you know, like they're not having as much sex as they want. And there's so many things like taking care of the kids and like feeling like you're always taking care of everyone else. And she brings up fantasies, which I thought was outstanding.
But what does she say about, I don't know what Esther Perel says about
I mean,
fantasy.
she just says how healthy it is and that people because they fantasize about something doesn't mean they want it. Like they
Right.
like to act things out, but they wouldn't want the actual thing. Like one guy has all these, I guess the book was written a long time ago, like early, mid 2000,
Yeah,
like 2006 or something.
Yeah.
I have the 20-year anniversary edition,
cool.
right? Which is, it's been out 20 years, so 2006. But my edition was written, like the introduction was from the 2017 version. But regardless, I think she was saying that dude had a bunch of porn tapes. Like, I don't think anybody has that anymore, right? Like VHS piled up
I'm
porn
sure
tapes.
somebody has
And it was all like
a collection.
It was all like gangbang. Like she's like gangbang 1, gangbang 2, gangbang 47. You know what I mean? Like he has all these, and he doesn't really want that. Like it's a fantasy. And, yeah, but his girlfriend was turned off by it. Like I guess she finally saw the tape collection, and she was like, you know, they had very different perspectives of the fantasy.
Did he want to play that out? Like,
I don't know. I think he was basically giving the woman all the power, and she was giving the men all the power, taking advantage of the woman in her head. Like the way they perceived it was different. No, I don't think he wanted to act that out with her, but it's something like she was just turned off. Like, all right, so like my kids listen to this podcast, so I don't want to talk sexually a lot. One of the things she was talking about with the fantasies, related to fantasies, was you don't have to share your fantasies with someone else. You can, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Right? And some people believe in, like, if we're in an intimate relationship, it should be completely transparent. And she's like, no. And I did have a bad experience with that once, where I was dating somebody and they were like, whatever, and I told them, like, whatever. I'm being as vague as humanly possible.
You told them whatever,
and then it was like,
and then it was whatever,
judged and criticized.
Oh, it wasn't whatever.
Yeah, no, it wasn't whatever. It was like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And like,
that's not fair.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it was a long time ago, and it's a very long time ago. But I wouldn't do that today. Like if I was in a relationship with someone and they were like, what is your, you know, whatever, like your top fantasy, I would tell them with them maybe, but not general.
I agree with that. I actually got into a heated discussion with a couple once because they flat out asked me, how would you approach this as a therapist? So they didn't even ask me, how would you approach this in your personal life? If they asked me that and I felt like it wasn't appropriate to share, I would have probably, you know, taken the conversation another angle. But they asked me professionally, how would I approach this? And I said that there's certain things that you don't really have to share with your partner. Like, right. And they had like they never came back after a heated discussion. But no, I agree.
Because some couples believe that. Some couples believe true intimacy is you share everything with me. And some, like, I think Esther Perel's point was, it's up to you guys. You guys define the boundaries of your relationship. And there's pros and cons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I like what Esther Perel says, that we have this fantasy that our partner needs to be every single person or thing for us.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Yeah. So many people say that, like, that our partners have taken the place of religion. Now we're coming back to religion. Wow. But like, we put everything onto a partner now. Like, they're our saviors now. And yeah, it's quite, Esther Perel actually says, like, that's quite a burden to carry.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, yeah. But like, I kind of like just piggybacking off of that. It's true. How can we expect one person to be all of these things? That's exhausting. Like, you can't.
Right. Yeah. So I think there's certain things that, as long as it isn't doing harm to
it's
the
a fantasy.
Relationship.
Right. It's a fantasy if you're not most of them don't want, that was the first thing I said that Esther Perel said. Most people don't want the fantasy. Like, rape fantasy is the number one female fantasy. No woman really wants to be raped, right? It's a fantasy about, like, one of the other things she did with fantasy is she wanted clients to tell her the fantasies because it gives clues to their inner psyche. Their psyche, their inner psyche. Like, what is that about? And that's what's missing for them. But one last thing I wanted to say about fantasy was, in my abnormal psychopathology class. I was going to say abnormal psych, but it's not called that anymore. Nope, it's called psychopathology.
Yeah,
which I can go on a whole dissertation about, but let's not. There's a chapter on sexual disorders, and in the first paragraph, I actually bring it up. That's the first thing we do when we talk about that chapter. Is the sentence goes something like, most people are fascinated by the sexual lives of others, like what they're thinking about or what they do, and worried about their own normality. And I think that they feel such a powerful sentence.
They feel like their sex life is boring?
No. They worry that their fantasies mean they're messed up. And they are intrigued by other people's, like,
they want to know what other people's fantasies are so that they feel more normal.
The reason that came back to me is because of what I said, and I was so vague that I'm sure people are going to be like, I wonder what Barry's fantasies were that girl gave him a bunch of shit.
I'm sure the two of us were thinking that right now. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Like, that's just a normal thought.
Right. I excluded you from the masses.
I think it's a normal thought.
Right. But my point,
your
because
kids
we're
will think it too.
We're intrigued. Thanks, Freud. We're intrigued by other people's, like, thoughts and fantasies and what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And then on our part, we're like, I have this fantasy. Is that normal, or am I a little whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sentence I think it helps clear things up for students, like, so that we can kind of normalize, like, a lot of what you're thinking is probably not out of the realm of normality.
For a little bit there, I thought about getting my sex therapist certification. Like, I really wanted to do it about
5 years ago.
No, maybe a little more. Like, before we started Full Circle, I really was thinking of doing it. And had we not started Full Circle, maybe I would have, like, gone down that road and done, like, the schooling for it to get the actual certification in it.
Right.
But it takes time. You need, like, supervision hours and all that.
Right.
I think the reason was because growing up, like, in a Hispanic Cuban household, it was very taboo. Like, talking about sex was very taboo. You have to wait till you're married, and it wasn't something that was okay to do with a boyfriend. So I've been really big about it being an okay, normal thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So I don't mind talking about sex. And I kind of enjoy making people uncomfortable about it, which is maybe part of my defiance.
I like doing it in class. Like, I like messing with them, like how uncomfortable. But also, I get very uncomfortable on that chapter because I'm talking to a bunch of 20-year-olds about, like, sex and the sexual, the orgasm, like, whatever.
You know what was great for our listeners? I thoroughly enjoyed the show Masters of Sex.
Masters and Johnson.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's the whole history of Masters and Johnson. And it's Dr. William Masters and Virginia Johnson. And they did
they laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're huge, famous sex therapists.
Right.
Like, they studied sex in the 60s.
It used to make me watch it with you.
I loved that show so much.
You watched it?
Yes.
Maybe like a couple episodes.
With you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to try to make everyone watch it because it's the history of Masters and Johnson. It's set in the 50s and like all the research that they did throughout, like, the 50s into the 60s. And they, like, would go into brothels to study people having sex.
Right.
And the show is really good and everybody should watch it.
It's still on?
I mean, you could find it on,
sure,
like,
somewhere.
Streaming. I think you could find it on...
Yeah, we talk about
it was
them
on Showtime.
We talk about them in the class because they laid the groundwork. Like, they came up with treatments and the disorders like erectile dysfunction, and they're really famous for the spectator role that leads to erectile dysfunction for a lot of men. Yeah. What else should we talk about with sex?
But we have to talk about furries because it's in the title.
Right.
don't have any. Like, I don't know.
Can't contribute to the fairies. Well, to the furries. I think a pivotal moment in history was when the 50 Shades of Grey books came out.
Okay.
And that put like BDSM on the map.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think before that it was very taboo, and when you think about it, you just think of people being tied up and like it was bad. And so I think that normalized some of it, which I think is a good thing as long as it's healthy and safe and consensual.
Right. I agree.
I'll
just agree.
I also agree.
I read something recently that has nothing to do with sex. It just had to do with like people doing things that you wouldn't do and us judging them for it. Like, I think it was about people reading in a bar is actually what it was. Like, they go to a bar and they read, and it's
that
like,
would be me.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're at a bar. Like, why would you do that at a bar? And we're judging this person for reading at a bar, but in reality, they're not hurting anybody. Like, and that's how I feel about furries. Like, I don't know anything about it other than they dress up like animals.
Right.
But if it's two consenting people and they're not hurting anybody,
Who cares?
like, who am I to judge that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, let people do what makes them happy. Like, the world is hard enough. If this brings you joy and you're not hurting anybody, like, what's the problem?
I agree. I think where people have a bigger problem with it is with the adolescents and the teenagers.
They're furries too?
Yeah.
Are they?
They're like going to school dressed as furries.
I have not heard this.
You really don't turn the TV on this?
Yeah, there's like a whole thing that like on the news about some.
I don't watch the news ever.
I don't watch the news either, but it somehow got to me because I know about this, where there was a student who was going to school dressed like a cat, and they said that they needed a litter box in the bathroom. See, I think that's where people like have a problem with it.
All right, so I just want to say I don't consider that sexual. Like, that's want to be a cat. Like a person that gets tattooed to look like an animal, gets face. Like, I've seen that, right? Like, they get cosmetic surgery
I've seen that too.
Things done to make them look like an animal. I didn't really consider that a furry. Like, to me, furries are the sexual. Like, I mean, I've only ever seen it in like comedy movies. Like, dude shows up dressed as a bunny, and you know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Like he misunderstood or something. The party.
So I think we should put a disclaimer that this episode is more about furries being okay in the bedroom in the privacy of your own sexual fantasies.
I think if my teenager wants to dress like a cat and poop in a litter box, that's a whole different thing.
Okay, good. I think it's important that we.
But I don't know enough
that.
about furries. Like, I didn't know that was part of it.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm glad we're separating.
Right. Okay. Any other sexual stuff? Going back to Freud, I said his two, like, sex and aggression, but that comes from Darwin. Darwin's theory of evolution is procreation and survival.
Yes.
Like, those are the two driving forces. In evolutionary psychology, the same thing. Like, the bottom line is we are sexual beings, most of us. I think we should probably mention there are a ton of variations, right? There are people that are asexual, but the vast majority of the human race is sexual, and they're driven by sex one way or another. How much do you think it affects your decision making, your psychology? I guess, like Freud would say, right? Or Darwin, like, some of my decisions day to day are based on a sex drive, even though I'm not conscious of it. How much would you say that affects you guys?
I'm pregnant.
That doesn't excuse you.
Actually, if anything, like at certain stages in the pregnancy, women are more sexual than other times.
This appears to be news to Liz. Sorry.
It's very common for pregnant women to have like sexual dreams, and sometimes they're having dreams about it, so they don't really have to have sex in person because they already feel fulfilled in their dreams.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So I think
she looks so uncomfortable right now. Like, she hasn't moved, right? She has two fingers, one of which is the middle finger. So I'm not sure she's like giving us the finger. She's like, I'm not talking about this. Like, you guys can sit here and hypothesize about pregnant women all you want, but I am not engaging. That's literally what she's doing.
Yeah, she's giving me like
what
the death
is
look.
That? What is that? Like, why?
You didn't explicitly say your fantasy that got someone to tell you to fuck off.
She didn't tell me to fuck off. She just gave me shit.
She
for
just thought he was weird.
Yeah, for like a day.
For like a day.
Oh, maybe probably forever. It didn't last. That relationship only lasted a few months.
Until you told her your fantasy.
No, there were
she
other. Maybe. My question was, how much do you think an underlying sex drive influences your decision making?
Okay, so what I was going to say is that I think there's little variations within every individual, right? Where I think for some people, and I say people because I had a couple who it was the guy that could not have sex until he felt an emotional connection.
Right.
With
it's more common with women,
it's
but
more
it is
common,
true with men.
But I've seen it
100%.
before, so that's why I don't like to generalize. But so I think that there's small variations, and I think whether or not you need the connection part more than the sex part, all of it boils down to, are you or are you not having sex and feeling fulfilled, right? So I think it does impact a lot of your decision making all the way back in there somewhere. Like, it's not something you're conscious about. You're like, I haven't had sex in a month, so that's why I'm being a bitch. Like, that's not something
I
you're
have literally
thinking about.
said that to classes.
I'm sure.
I didn't use the word bitch. I probably used asshole.
Okay. But it's in there. Whether it's the sexual release or whether it's more of like the connection for you or the being intimate, like, I do believe that, yes, it is in there.
Right.
Absolutely.
I actually heard recently, like, beyond taking sex and the release out is skin hunger.
Yeah.
Like, we hunger to have someone's skin against us.
Right. And that's what the sensate focus exercise I was talking about starts off with, touching the skin and being comfortable with that and how important that part is.
Right. So you think it is influencing your decision? You're pregnant. That's the only answer we're getting from you.
So do you feel like it doesn't influence your decisions?
Not at the pressing moment.
Okay.
Honestly. It's,
Okay. I definitely think it does. I think on a semi-conscious level, like, if I can make it conscious sometimes, like, why am I being nicer to this female than I am to this male with the same you know, like, education? Like, my students are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, I got a B+ because I was a man. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. Like, I try really hard to not let biases affect, but I'm sure they still do. But I do feel that, it works in. Like, we are nicer to attractive people. Why?
Yeah.
Like, why are we nicer to attractive people if it's not some kind of sexual drive? There's so many things I've heard I read somewhere that if we catch a glimpse of somebody, we see them as much more attractive than they might be, because that serves our evolutionary purpose. Like, it's better to see somebody as attractive that's not and then not procreate than it is to miss someone that was attractive and not think they were and miss that opportunity. Yeah. Like, that's just evolutionary theory, like trying to get our, seed, whatever it is. So,
like Nick Cannon.
Spread our seed.
Like what?
Like Nick Cannon.
He has like 1 million kids.
He has like
4. I don't even know who that is. What is he?
Nick
Cannon. He was married to Mariah Carey.
I don't know him.
He has like 14 kids.
Wow, good for him.
Or like,
I mean, maybe,
what is it?
I don't know. I have no idea how many kids he has.
It's like 11 to 14.
Okay. I didn't get the reference.
And he says it though, like, it's because he wants to spread his seed.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm sorry. I wasn't quoting Nick Cannon. I was actually quoting evolutionary psychology. Like, evolutionary psychology that's what men are trying to do. Procreate and survive. Okay. Procreate and survive. Like, get my genes into the next generation.
And we have Nick Cannon as an example.
Yeah, you guys do. I'm not party to that.
12.
Oh, he has
12 kids. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, that was very normal back in the day.
With 6 different women.
It was very normal in the 1800s.
Yeah.
It wasn't
when the
very
fuck was
normal
that?
back in the day. Back in what day? The millennials?
Back in the day, yeah, like back when like our grandparents.
Yeah, that's what I said. The 1800s.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's Nick Cannon.
I'm back in the day.
I'm assuming he's not from the 1800s.
He's a millennial.
No, he's like
Mariah
probably,
Carey's old, but not that old. Right?
No, but he's younger than Mariah Carey.
Uh-huh. And one of the things that jumped out at me in that book, again, Esther Perel,
Mating Captivity.
Mating in Captivity, thank you, was she said like whatever agency is in charge of that draws the line at 10 times a year or less is considered a sexless marriage, even though I wouldn't call that sexless.
Less than 10 a year?
10 times a year.
Oh.
Yeah, and she says how arbitrary that is because look, so somebody's having sex 11 times, they're fine, but but someone
but 9.
yeah, but 9 isn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. But I think that is, like you said, you had a couple that hadn't had sex for 2 years. And I've heard that a lot in couples, like, we're not having sex. I think in the other episode where we mentioned sex when we were answering questions, we said it varies, right? And I think I heard Esther Perel say in, I don't know, one of her podcasts or the TED Talk or the other book I read, like, because I also read The State of Affairs about cheating by Esther Perel. But no two people, they usually don't match up. Like their sex drives don't match up perfectly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Somebody always wants it more than the other person. And I don't know. I forget where I was going, but probably 10 times a year is less than most people want to be having sex.
Well, right. It sounds like if you say less than 10 times a year, it doesn't come out to even once a month.
Right. That's less than once.
Yeah. And
I have seen that like a lot.
Oh,
of
yeah.
times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I remember when we talked about how many times should you be having sex with your partner. I remember that I said at least once a week. And I remember you saying like, wait, because like everybody like, whatever.
Because I think we have to be, because we're doing a public service here with a podcast, right? I think we have to be inclusive.
Yeah,
like there are people that once a week might be more than they want, like twice a month might be their thing,
right?
I mean, I don't know.
But and I say at least once a week because I'm talking about like the intimate connection. Feel like couples need to make an effort to carve out time, like literally carve out time when you don't have it to be intimate with their partner.
Like both of you have small kids, and one of the things, she spends like a whole chapter on how kids interfere with mating in captivity.
Biggest
right?
cock blockers ever.
Yeah, because like even if they stay in their rooms, which isn't that common anymore, like everybody, all my clients have their kids sleep with them at some point, like sleep in the bed with them, which I don't I don't remember that being a thing in my generation. Like I'm sure it happened once in a blue moon, but not on any regular thing. But even if you don't have that, you're so drained.
Yeah, tired.
Everything's so task oriented. Everything is so, I'm always giving that you're drained and you don't feel like it, I think is another, like there's so many issues once you have kids that can interfere with a healthy, like you're talking about, intimacy and
and connection.
She also makes the parallel that intimacy and sex are often not connected like we always make it, but more separate.
Yeah.
Like there has to be mystery. There has to be like some intrigue for desire.
Well, that's why I like to say intimacy, because I think that you don't have to have sex to be intimate.
Right.
And I think it's important to incorporate that at least once a week. Like at least if you're not having enjoyable
maybe even
sex,
separately.
Like,
like maybe schedule sex and schedule intimacy.
Totally.
Like sit and talk and have a adult conversation about something other than the family and the kids.
Intimate conversation is an emotional need on the emotional needs questionnaire, and I've prescribed emotional conversations like into the calendar.
Yeah.
With like a few couples. Like I remember saying, like, you need to decide what day it is that you're gonna sit out on your back patio and enjoy a refreshment together and just sit there and talk about your days or whatever the heck you could come up with. Yeah.
Anything to add, Liz?
Liz should have been the engineer today. You should have just pressed the buttons.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can whip it into going. No, I'm just kidding.
You guessed right. I participated. You guys always participate. You guys always do this.
You did, but you have been shut down for like the last 18 minutes.
She's just scared of saying something that'll make Medi? What a Freudian slip. I combined Eddie and Mel into one name, Medi. Wow. I'm your other partner. What would Freud think about that?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah, probably accurate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think you did participate. I am not the one saying, I said you shut down. Like when we got to the one topic, you have not said much since then. Oh. That's what I'm saying. But you did participate early.
She did. Yeah. She did. We'll give her that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll give you a pass. That's fine. All right. Anything else for closing? And that's a wrap on this episode of Therapist Say. I'm your host, Mel.
I'm your host, Liz.
I'm the co-host, Barry.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it for today's episode of Therapist Say. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you laughed, learned something, or at least realized you're not the only one with issues.
New episodes drop every 2 weeks, so hit follow and don't forget self-care.